Spirituality and Nature, My Adolescence. In life, in our everyday and ordinary experiences, we are surrounded by nature. The problem is that many people don't attempt to make a connection with nature. These types of people will live their lives maybe acknowledging the beauty of nature but not making a connection to it. This connection that I speak of is that of something that will continue on long after our lives are over. When I was a little girl, I would make frequent trips through the glass, dirt-stained backyard doors to bond with nature. I would play with my golden retriever Sandy and make headbands by weaving and braiding pieces of monkey grass together. I remember laying in the grass, watching how the light from the sun was broken up by the leaves and the branches in the tree. The perfect breeze of wind blanketed my skin as blades of grass lightly stroked my fingertips. And the sound of Sandy's heartbeat was against my ears as she laid against me. I crawled through the dirt with her, pretending to also be a dog. We chased each other around the trees, around the shed, then back up to the porch. I would pull the firmest piece of monkey grass out from the side of the porch and braid them into the headband. Everything seemed so pure and innocent, so perfect. I rarely get that feeling anymore. Sometimes I experience that sense of purity and perfection when I look at a scenic view or feel a slight breeze as I am fishing. There are so many aspects that contributed to those perfect days when I was a child, like the temperature. It was 80 degrees in the middle of May. The flowers were blooming, and the trees and the grass were as green as ever. Sandy's golden fur was shining in the sunlight. I remember those moments perfectly. I was intertwined with nature. Upon visiting the Crystal Bridges Museum, I saw some paintings that reminded me of our connection with nature. The view of Mount Washington reminded me of the sensations I felt during those moments as a child, and how I'm constantly searching for bits and pieces of these sensations in every part of life. It resonated throughout my body. In the book Spirituality, Gottlieb talks about the connections between spirituality and nature. He says a spiritual bond with nature can deeply affect our sense of who we are, and I believe that my spiritual bond with nature has truly done so. I feel like I'm supposed to be outdoors all the time, and I think that because of my bond with nature, I am inclined to love animals and protect them. During those childhood moments, I learned to appreciate God's creations and His purposes for them. The painting Home by the Lake reminded me to be thankful for the beauty of the world. It reminded me that I did not want to harm animals or the environment in any way. According to Gottlieb, if my childhood experience leads towards greater appreciation of life, less compulsion to succeed or consume, and a gentle acceptance of our common mortality, then nature will have done its spiritual work. I think that nature has done its spiritual work through me, and I will continue to search for more ways for it to affect me. In the painting, Path Along the River's Edge, a man appears to be walking alongside a river with his horse. It looks to be early autumn because there are traces of reds and oranges in the leaves of the trees. This oil painting reminded me of how I felt as a child because I coexisted with nature and acknowledged it. The colors in the painting of the man and the horse are blended with the colors of the trees and the river. I think this symbolizes the bond between nature and man. I believe that as years continue to pass and things become more modern, that we will continue to lose sight of the spiritual connection with nature. Maybe the issue in losing sight of the spirituality of nature is that we have had more opportunities to explore and learn about nature when we were younger. Now we are so focused on other things that we don't focus enough of our attention on one of God's greatest gifts. I believe that nature is here to teach us that no matter what hardships or struggles we may be dealing with, we will always prevail, just as nature has undergone years and years of disasters and still looks beautiful. Disaster-struck nature may not look beautiful to the naked eye, but it's the single sprouting plant that has just pushed through the surface, yearning for sunlight, that is beautiful. It teaches us that there are always new beginnings, and that we must not give up on life when it seems difficult. Nature's stories teach us valuable life lessons. In The Culture of Possibility, the author, Arlene Goldberg, talks about how there are two divisions to this world, the Republic of Stories and Datastan. In Datastan, everything is based off of the numbers and computers. There's only one true story that matters. The Republic of Stories is very different in that everyone has a story and everyone's stories matter. I think that nature's stories belong in the Republic of Stories because they help us spiritually connect to the world. Gottlieb says that we connect to nature because we see it as a protection from a divine power. A wise woman, Brenda Peterson, who grew up in the National Forest of Oregon, said that she assumed that the trees were our ancestors. They were here before us, we were their children. My goal is to become more involved with nature, and it can be as easy as studying outside. I long to relive my childhood moments in the backyard, and anything that somewhat reminds me of those moments is very dear to me. I go fishing quite often because I feel peaceful and I can observe nature. It is a form of meditation to me. And although Sandy has passed, I still enjoy playing outside with my dogs Duke and Susie. The truth is, I do not know how to fully experience my childhood moments again. I can find things that remind me of some of the aspects of those moments, but never the full feeling. Perhaps it was the fact that as a child I was pure, innocent, and naive. Now I have so much going on that being able to just sit and enjoy nature is hardly ever at the top of my list of things to do. All I know for sure is that I fully experienced a sense of spirituality in nature when I was young, and I hope to find it again.